Good morning, America. New storm on the move right now, millions in its path. Cities in the Northeast could face some flooding. Mandatory evacuations in Missouri. Towns told to get out now as a major river overflows, threatening homes and businesses.
Breaking overnight, major assault weapon crackdown. The Prime Minister of New Zealand's swift and stunning ban just days after that mosque terror attack.
Also this morning, chilling new details in the Boeing 737 investigation. What the co-pilot said moments before that Lion Air crash. Inside those final seconds, and now why the FBI is getting involved.
Cruise ship accident. The moment a passenger plummets 20 feet on a popular trampoline ride, the bungee cord snapping. Now he's suing for millions of dollars.
The new warning about your hot cup of coffee or tea. Why you may want to wait before you sip. I'm a fireball.
And the shocking sight overnight. This fireball lighting up the LA sky, the midair mystery, and now this morning, what was really behind it.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And Good Morning America. I hope you're well this Thursday morning.
That fireball there might not be what you thought. An alien. Has something to do with the supermoon. We'll tell you about it coming up.
I love the Pitbull song that goes with it, though.
Always a good day when you start off with some Pitbull.
Exactly. But first, we're going to begin our day with those two storms on the move. The Midwest facing more severe flooding. And here in the Northeast, millions are bracing for a wet and messy commute this morning. Rob Marciano is starting us off with the latest. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good morning, Michael. The rain will get here later in the day and increase for the evening rush. We got to talk about that flooding out west. Right now, the Missouri River in parts flowing at a rate of 300,000 cubic feet per second. That's enough to fill an NFL stadium in less than 10 minutes. This is Craig, Missouri, evacuated because of a levee breach there. This town now inundated, and many towns along Missouri seeing their worst flooding since 1993 or worse than that. And obviously, rescues continue to be underway. A dry break for them, then more rain next week. We are looking at this nor'easter taking shape over the Carolinas right now. The heaviest rains this morning, Raleigh, Virginia Beach, D.C., Philly, then New York City for the evening rush, then through Boston tonight. The wraparound with this with heavy wind and snow, wet snow accumulating, I think, mostly out north of I-90, 6 to 12 inches of it. But it's going to be a messy travel day on the roads and in the air as well. We'll talk more about this storm throughout the program. George, back.
Okay, Rob, thanks. Now to that breaking news overnight. The Prime Minister of New Zealand has announced immediate action to ban assault weapons in the wake of that terror attack that killed 50 people at 2 mosques. ABC's Eva Pilgrim has all the details. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. The shooter legally purchased the weapons used in this attack, and the Prime Minister wasting no time banning those very guns, saying it's for all of us, it's in the national interest, and it's about safety. It's been only 6 days since the terrorist attack targeting 2 Christchurch mosques left 50 people dead. And already, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is stepping up, immediately moving for a sweeping ban on assault weapons in her country.
The time for the mass and easy availability of these weapons must end. And today, they will.
The Prime Minister, who has vowed to not even say the shooter's name, says the drafted legislature targets the type of weapons used in the massacre, one of the most extensive gun control reforms in the country's history.
New Zealand will ban all military-style semi-automatic weapons. We will ban all parts with the ability to convert semi-automatic or any other type of firearm into a military-style semi-automatic weapon.
In the days following the attack, Ardern acting swiftly on a promise, vowing to quickly change the laws in a country where there are an average of 30 firearms for every 100 people. In the United States, where the rate is approximately 4 times higher, the Second Amendment and political opposition have stalled calls for similar reforms in the wake of mass shootings. Just as the first funerals get underway, the Prime Minister outlining those new changes expected to be enacted by April 11th. 30 people remain in the hospital, 7 in critical condition.
It's about all of us. It's in the national interest, and it's about safety, to prevent an act of terror happening in our country ever again.
And these guns have been pulled from stores to prevent a rush to buy them. As you can imagine, it's going to take some time and money to put in this buyback program. They're estimating somewhere between $100 and $200 million. Those gun owners can arrange either online or by calling their local police departments how they will turn these weapons in. Cecilia.
Amazing how quickly they moved there. Okay, Eva, thank you. We'll turn now to those new developments in the Boeing investigation. This morning, there are even more questions about the safety of those 737s as we learn chilling new details about the final moments in that doomed Lion Air crash. ABC senior transportation correspondent David Curley's got the latest. David, the FBI is now involved.
The FBI joining one of several investigations into the certification of the 737 MAX. That is the stamp of approval to allow it to fly. Meanwhile, the Indonesians have just talked to reporters giving new details about the very first crash. This morning, more details about the first Boeing 737 MAX crash in Indonesia.
Pilot lain yang ada di kokpit.
With investigators there telling us about the cockpit voice recorder, highlighting the confusion in the cockpit. The New York Times reporting some of the last words were prayers by the first officer. God is great. The Indonesians dispute that, but confirm that as the jet was dramatically moving up and down, the captain was at the controls trying to settle the plane. That up and down action caused by an automatic safety system triggered a total of 21 times. The captain finally giving the control to the first officer and is going through his emergency checklist, but they run out of time and crash. Boeing says if the system malfunctions as it did, the procedure is to shut it off. That exact jet had the same trouble the day before, but there was a third pilot in the jump seat hitching a ride, and according to reports, he suggested to the crew that they shut down the system, saving the flight. The Indonesians say all three worked together. And the Indonesians have joined others in saying this first crash is similar to the Ethiopian crash a week and a half ago, even though we've not learned what the black boxes from Ethiopia say about that crash. Now, we know the FBI has joined this investigation. Congress will hold hearings next week. And Boeing, Cecilia, yesterday shuffled 3 Boeing executives in the engineering department, changing some of those engineering jobs out in the wake of this crash.
Yeah, a lot of questions for Boeing, David. And now there's another investigation, this one with ties to the Pentagon.
Yes, it has nothing to do with the crashes. This is the acting defense secretary, Shanahan, who's a former Boeing executive. Now an investigation has been launched whether or not Boeing got preferential treatment in some Pentagon contracting. Cecilia.
Okay, David, thank you.
Okay, Cecilia, to the White House now, where President Trump has spent the week unleashing a series of attacks against the late Senator John McCain. The latest yesterday in Ohio, tank factory packed with veterans. Trump has persisted despite blowback from Republicans on Capitol Hill, outrage from McCain's family. Our chief White House correspondent John Carl has the story. And John, the president just won't let this go.
He sure won't, George. Donald Trump's attacks on John McCain began long before he became president, and now, bizarrely, they are continuing long after McCain's death. President Trump is showing no sign he's done attacking Senator John McCain, who died 7 months ago with brain cancer.
So I have to be honest, I've never liked them much.
Wednesday, the president, who himself avoided serving in Vietnam with multiple deferments, including one for bone spurs in his feet, hammered the late senator and war hero in front of a pro-military crowd in Ohio.
McCain didn't get the job done for our great vets and the VA, and they knew it.
The crowd listened in silence as Trump told them he never got a thank you for authorizing the use of an Air Force jet to transfer McCain's casket for his memorial service.
I gave him the kind of funeral that he wanted, which as president I had to approve. I don't care about this. I didn't get thank you. That's okay. We sent him on the way, but I wasn't a fan of John McCain. Not my kind of guy, but some people like him, and I think that's great.
Several Republican senators, including Mitch McConnell and Martha McSally, who serves in McCain's Senate seat, defended McCain on Twitter, both calling him an American hero. But neither of them condemned Trump. Senator Lindsey Graham went further.
I think the president's comments about Senator McCain hurt him more than they hurt the legacy of Senator McCain.
Perhaps the strongest rebuke came from Georgia Republican Johnny Isakson, who chairs the Veterans Affairs Committee.
It's deplorable what he said. We should never reduce the service that people give to this country.
The president's attacks on McCain come amidst a torrent of attacks on a wide range of other targets, including writers for Saturday Night Live, the husband of one of his top aides, and a frequent target, Special Counsel Robert Mueller.
Yeah, and John, we're all waiting for Robert Mueller's report to be transmitted to the Attorney General, William Barr. And you pressed the president yesterday on whether he wants the public to see that report. Let's take a look.
Mr. President, does the American public have a right to see the Mueller report?
I don't mind. I mean, frankly, I told the House, if you want, let them see it. Let it come out. Let people see it. That's up to the Attorney General. We have a very good Attorney General. He's a very highly respected man, and we'll see what happens.
But, John, the president's wishes don't necessarily guarantee that the public's going to see the report.
No, not at all, George. As you heard him say there, that he is leaving that decision ultimately up to the Attorney General. And he's also been all over the map on this. Just last Friday, he said there shouldn't be a Mueller report.
Okay, John Carl, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. And now to new developments involving a prostitution case against Patriots owner Robert Kraft. He's reportedly planning to reject an offer to drop the charges against him. And ABC's Lindsay Davis is here with more. And Lindsay, he's pleading not guilty, and apparently he didn't like one requirement of the deal, admitting guilt.
That's right, Michael. That seems to be the sticking point and primary reason that he plans to turn down that plea deal. And now Kraft's lawyers are also fighting to keep any potentially embarrassing video of the Patriots owner out of public view. Police say that they have damning videotaped evidence, and Kraft wants to make sure that no one ever sees it.
This morning, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft is reportedly planning to say no deal in response to a plea offer from Florida prosecutors, which would have required him, among other things, to admit that if his case went to trial, he would be found guilty of soliciting prostitution. Kraft has pleaded not guilty to the charges. He's accused of 2 misdemeanor counts of soliciting a prostitute at a Florida massage parlor. He was one of 25 men caught up in a major operation to uncover alleged human trafficking.
This is about enabling a network of criminals to traffic women into our country for forced labor and sex.
If he'd been willing to make that admission of guilt, pay $10,000 in fines, perform 100 hours of community service, and attend a class on the dangers of prostitution, the charges of misdemeanor soliciting prostitution would have been dropped. On Wednesday, his lawyers filed this protective order, asking a judge to prevent any evidence in the case from being made public, including any footage of the alleged sexual encounters.
The question was, does the video contain Mr. Kraft inside receiving the alleged acts? The answer to that is yes.
Jordan Wagner represents 15 other men, not including Kraft, who are also charged with soliciting prostitution.
We have to see if the videos were obtained properly. I would dispute the notion that it was an exchange of money for sex. I don't know if there's any evidence of actual solicitation of prostitution.
Kraft's arraignment is set for March 28th. And according to Politico, despite Kraft's arrest, President Trump has reportedly told staffers that he wants Kraft at the White House when the Patriots go to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. That's expected to happen in the coming weeks.
And I'm sure admitting guilt would probably mean a big penalty from the NFL or something they would have to do.
The NFL can punish him separate and apart from any kind of criminal charges.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Sid.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thanks to everybody.
I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
We're going to get you some hot coffee soon. We're going to turn now to that massive tropical cyclone causing a humanitarian crisis in southern Africa. Take a look at the devastation there in Mozambique. The number of those killed could rise past 1,000. ABC's Eden Panel has the very latest.
This morning, the desperate search for the stranded and missing. Homes smashed and washed away as desperate residents try to pick up the pieces. Now, relentless rain creating floodwaters almost 20 foot high in parts. Some have only trees and rooftops for survival. At least 200 confirmed dead, but the president here fears there could be over 1,000 killed by this Category 4 storm. In the small mountain town of Chimanimani in Zimbabwe, one woman's harrowing story of survival. Enya says, "My house caved in and I was stuck under a pile of rocks. My husband, who was sleeping next to me, was crushed to death." And in Malawi, mothers and their children line up in large crowds just to get health care. Watch this rescuer swim to 2 women stuck on a pile of brush where they only have a few bowls and the clothes on their backs. It's been a week since Cyclone Idai made landfall with winds over 100 miles an hour. Bridges and roads washed away. A major dam burst as nearly 100,000 people wait to be saved. From above, entire neighborhoods wiped out. Now the help is only just starting to arrive as tractors try to remove trees and debris. So the needs here are immense. People need food, fuel, shelter, and of course medicine. As the hunt for survivors goes on, there are real fears of waterborne diseases such as cholera. In the meantime, the U.S. has dispatched an elite emergency management team to assess what America can do to help. Cecilia.
Yeah, it's a real race now. Okay, Ian, thank you. George?
Okay, Cecilia, now to new fallout from the Jussie Smollett case. Overnight, Empire creator Lee Daniels spoke out saying he and the cast have felt pain and anger over the incident. And ABC's Alex Perez is in Chicago with the details. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, George. He doesn't mention Smollett specifically by name, but says this entire ordeal has taken a toll on everyone who works on the show.
It's so bad I'm stuck on this roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster.
As Jussie Smollett's character sang his heart out on Empire last night, co-creator Lee Daniels says he and Smollett's castmates are on a roller coaster of emotions.
Me and my cast have experienced pain and anger and sadness.
And producers have already said Smollett has been cut out of the final 2 episodes of the season. He's due back in court April 17th. Michael?
All right, thank you so much. And, now to some good news, you guys. Well, good news for somebody who didn't buy a ticket yesterday. Well, you can buy one now because that massive Powerball, it is still up for grabs. No one won last night. Brad, I see you over there giving the yes sign. So now the estimated jackpot is at $625 million. Yes, with a cash value of $380.6 million. The next drawing is Saturday night. And if someone doesn't show up at work on Monday, you know they won.
So the good news is we all still have a chance.
We got a chance.
Go in. Office poll.
Okay. This morning there's a major lawsuit brewing over this cruise ship accident. Take a look. That man was seriously injured. When you see his bungee cord snap right there, and he's speaking out on GMA.
Also, the college student who was listed as a member of the UCLA soccer team, but she wasn't actually hitting the field or even appearing in the team photo. She's now at the center of that college admissions scandal. What her classmates are saying about that coming up. But first, let's go back over to Rob.
All right, guys, let's take you weather-wise to Southern California. Isolated storms yesterday. This one over Compton, California, just south of Los Angeles. About 1.5 inches falling in LA County, and this obviously flooding the streets of Compton. Also some storms that had some hail to them in Long Beach. Look at this, hail filling the streets there with this cold core system that's now moving into the Rockies. We've got a couple of more that'll go through the northwest, the northern part of California as well, and these are going to get over the flooded areas, but the trend now is a little bit farther south of Omaha and Kansas City. That's good. We'll take it. Locally, 1 to 2 inches of rain, more so across the Red River Valley, maybe a little bit more north of Dallas, but we're trying to dry this area out after this epic disaster and record flooding across the Missouri and Mississippi rivers. Time now for your Rainy Cities, brought to you by Northwest Mutual.
We could go down this waterfall, honey. What do you think?
It's good. It's refreshing.
At Northwestern Mutual, this is what our version of financial planning looks like. Tomorrow's important, but she's only 7 months. Spend your life living. Find an advisor at northwesternmutual.com.
It is going to rain today, a 100% chance of that. We have a flood watch in effect from 10 a.m. until midnight. So again, have the rain gear and kind of a chilly rain at that. Temperatures this morning in the 40s. We'll briefly get to about 52 degrees downtown later, but some of our friends in the suburbs going to stay in the 40s. Tomorrow, 55, morning sun, some midday showers possible, but gusty winds Friday and Saturday. Sunday, lighter winds, dry and warmer with high temperatures in the lower 60s.
Talk about the flooding, these ice jams causing the flooding, but there is some beauty with all of this. This shot out of South Haven, Michigan, on the west coast there of Lake Michigan, with that broken up ice, the wind pushing it on shore. I mean, I'm aging myself.
What is that exactly?
Just, ice looking good, George. I like to call it the Fortress of Solitude. You remember back to the original Superman. That's how beautiful it looks there.
It's like a scene out of Frozen.
It's dangerous, so don't go out and check it out. Stay on shore if you're going to take pictures.
That's beautiful.
Okay, a lot more coming up. We have a new twist in the college admissions scandal. Our legal analyst, Sunny Hassan, is here. Plus, we have that major cruise ship lawsuit, and we'll be right back.
Carla is living with metastatic breast cancer.